What's up, guys? We're back in Hardware 3 on 12.6.4 in Mew here, and I'm realizing my Rode mic is actually doing something that it was supposed to do, or I thought it was supposed to do with the GoPro, but never did, which is turn on automatically when it detects my camera turning on. It actually does that with the Osmo, on and off. Not having to check this is going to save me so many times of running out of battery because I forget to turn off my mic. That aside, we're rolling up here on a ride. Should be relatively short. I am now kind of hunting for content with some shorter rides, hopefully. So fingers crossed that we got reaction or maybe a fun little ride along. I'm going for reactions. Reactions are what get the views, and the channel desperately needs them. Also, guys, keep in mind, if you got any friends or family that are looking for a home in the state of Florida or, you know, anywhere in the country, push them my way. Email's down in the description. I am an official realtor now. And of course, I work directly out of Florida, but I've got a team that spreads all over the U.S. So I can help them out anywhere they might be. Again, that'll all be down in the description, as well as my new socials that involve my real estate career. Thank you very much. Stay tuned. How's the air feel for you guys? Is it good?
Good.
Feels real good back here.
Okay.
Shame how a lot of the presently made Tesla cars aren't as reliable as the older ones.
What makes you say that?
Cybertruck issues, and I just don't trust the auto drive model of the newer ones that they keep trying to push out. That's just my personal opinion, though.
Oh, the new ones are autumn?
Yeah, they at least at the last conference I remember seeing for Tesla, the newest car they plan on making like fully automatic driving, which cool in concept for like future tech, but I just hope all the issues get wired out so there's no accidents.
You talking about the Cybercab?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, the one that doesn't have any human controls or anything?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that is not out yet. That's still a prototype. Right now, the most recent or the most advanced stuff is your Hardware 4 on version 13. I think 13.2.8 is what's going on. I'm on slightly older hardware, but it still handles 90+% of the drives without me having to do anything.
Look at your microphone and everything, camera. That's sweet.
I've been a content creator
too.
for many years around the Tesla self-driving space and all. Build quality wise, there were some, you know, early recalls with a brand new vehicle like Cybertruck that had never been made before that got resolved, but in recent months I haven't heard anything new pop up about it. I mean, there was the little rivet that fixed the cover on the pedal. That one, I think maybe 1 out of 100 trucks came loose. Oh, the rusting stuff was a bunch of BS. That was never true. I don't know if you've heard anything more recent, but build quality for the Model 3 and Y are better than they've ever been.
It's less about build quality from what I've seen and more about convenience. I've got neighbors who own Cybertrucks who, all of it is from the people who own them directly.
Sure.
About, like, the trunk space, not being able to see through the back mirror sometimes, and just, I don't know. I don't feel like it deserves the hate just because it's like a funny looking, sometimes slightly inconvenient truck, but...
It is a weird truck, but I drove one for a while. Like, a buddy of mine let me borrow one for my YouTube channel, and I, hauled like 9,000 pounds of rock in it. I gave people a bunch of rides in it, and honestly, if we could, I would just get rid of the rear view mirror. It's pointless because you have a beautiful display right here on the screen. And it's awesome. The only thing is, like, it will move depending on the view you have set, which I think is annoying. I kind of wish it would just like stay up in the middle where it'll sit. But if you don't go into full screen mode, it will go from here and then like condense here, or like this blind spot camera will override it and the rear view will go away while the blind spot camera's on. Little tiny things like that were like the most nitpicky that I got.
Yeah, that's one of the complaints my neighbor had, because like he said him and his wife were driving and she was trying to operate it, but it kept like automatically pulling up or changing things, and she kept having to like pull it back up or like change it so he could see. So
it's a little weird. It could take some getting used to, especially if you're going into a Cybertruck from a more regular vehicle or a regular truck. If you're already a Tesla customer, you might be a little bit more used to the camera wonkiness. I mean, we get used to our buttons and all. I have to move that blind spot camera every now and then too, but I'm always in the car, so it's pretty normal for me.
That's good that you're used to it. For me, just the biggest personal thing it's a no for me is because of like the pad and the buttons. I like having like the physical one so I can like feel what I'm doing instead of having.
That's fair.
Because it's
like not like missing the stocks, right?
Yeah.
Not having these, yeah.
It takes a lot more getting used to like remember where every single thing is on like the electronic board, like tablet, whatever you want to call it.
Sure, yeah.
Versus like, oh, I know like right next to this little knob for my air conditioning are my radio buttons, and I can feel myself press them instead of like tapping a screen, having to glance, make sure you press the right thing in case you're a little off. But
yep,
again,
you're not alone.
That's just me.
No, you're not alone in thinking that. That's one of the reasons that in the new Model Y that came out, they actually brought back the turn stock. Because so many people, like in the new Model 3, and I think the Y, the Cybertruck, the X, they all went completely stockless. And people were like, all right, we're tired of trying to figure out which of the turn arrows to hit on the steering wheel if we're like already turned. Like, we're all so used to having the stock, just leave it. It's like, don't fix what isn't broken. And I can understand that. So now the new Model Ys, they don't have the drive stock because they still have it here on the screen. Which that took me a day to get used to, but it's pretty intuitive, you know, up for forward, down for reverse, and it's all kind of right here, so you can get used to how you hit that. But they brought back the left stock, which, no complaints. I think it's just a natural thing we've all been so used to for so long.
Yeah, it really, end of the day, it really does just depend on the person.
I think so, yeah. Me being an avid gamer, I get used to control apparatus really quick, so when you have all the buttons and stuff on a steering wheel, it's like having a new game controller.
That looks
And
like a game controller.
it kind of does, right? Yeah, the yoke. Yeah, all the 3s and Ys come with a regular steering wheel, now with more buttons on it. This was back when the Model S and all first came out, and people were losing their minds over the yoke, and I jumped in as well. I got the custom wheel, and it's cool. It's really no different than a steering wheel once you get used to it. It looks very different from what people are used to. It's fun to watch it move while it's driving.
Problems when all that stuff was going on?
No, if I still lived in California, I probably...
trying to mess with your car?
No, and I'm really glad that now my wife and I, because we each have one, she's got a Model Y, and we're in our garage parked out of sight. But granted, also in Florida, this is a bit more of a friendly state to the right side of the spectrum. We lived in San Diego the last 10 years, though. We've only been back in Florida for this last year. And I'm pretty worried that had we been in San Diego still with our car street parked, we would have probably had some problems.
Yeah, they're going nuts over there.
I can't believe it, man. Like, I totally respect everyone having, you know, like the protests outside the stores. That is part of our freedom of expression. Going after people's personal property, and that person might not even have the same views as you. That's why people have felt pressure.
They got the car doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. Well, and even attaching one's purchases to a CEO, I try to tell people, don't think about Elon if you don't like Elon. Think about the thousands of hardworking people that are building these cars.
Yeah.
Because technically,
Americans.
he hasn't even been a part of Tesla for a super long time. A lot of the stuff he just inherited after he bought it from the original owner.
Exactly.
That's
And
not true, actually.
I was gonna
So
say
the original technology was nothing except a base model called the T0, which looked cool, but they didn't have the Roadster. They didn't have any intellectual property as a company at all. Elon got impatient because Eberhard was the original guy's name, and his partner, they weren't moving anywhere. They didn't have any plan to make this a mass market product. They were messing with more of the high-end market pet project fast electric car. So Elon used his resources and his drive, his very pushy mentality, to force the company forward, and they got forced out. So he was in it back in 2004 to 2006, shortly after SpaceX was founded in 2001. And yeah, there is this like weird idea that he stole all the ideas, but there were no ideas aside from the T0.
Did the technology come from the actual Nikolai Tesla?
No.
That was,
Yeah, Tesla, the original Tesla person, he had the idea for a type of coil technology that would generate energy. And
2008.
2008 is when the Roadster came out, but that's not when Tesla was founded.
I just looked at the day when he became the CEO of Tesla.
Oh, well, sure, yeah, but he had been involved with them for a couple years before that.
Yeah.
I think 2006 was when it was originally. But yeah, he took over 2008, and the Roadster came out, and then I think 2012 is when the Model S came out. But yeah, I need to do some brushing up on just the original Nikolai Tesla, because I know that the Tesla coil is what he's kind of famous for.
Yeah.
And
he had a trunk full of other inventions that were there when the FBI raided his hotel room that he...
Yeah, I need to parse out. I need to parse out the fact from the sort of the conspiracy side of it too.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of funny, deep conspiracies on Nikola Tesla. Like they killed him because he was going to give us free energy and all this other stuff.
It's a lie. It's a lie. You don't know what. You don't
Come on,
know
buddy.
what's
You
fact.
can do it. You got to fight for it. Hey, there we go. The human finally let us over. That's one of the hardest things is other humans not letting you in because they're trying to close the gap. And the self-driving technology is a little too nice. It has a little too much etiquette letting people over. If it sees turn signals, it lets them in. But they're good. They did that. So far, it's done the whole drive.
So your car did that on its own?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, since
So
we
you have
left the
self-driving?
plaza.
Oh,
So
your car's been driving?
yeah, it sure
That's
has.
so cool.
If I hit the brake, I fully take over, and you kind of heard the chime and the little
Autopilot
steering wheel went away. Yep.
disengage.
And then one little tap comes on, little wheel turns blue, and then you get the blue line where it's kind of thinking.
Yeah,
That's
I've
cool.
seen
I think that definitely is one of the main
Nice.
issues. It's not necessarily the technology not being capable, but trusting other people
Yeah.
to drive normally.
Yes.
Because as someone, I'm from Michigan. I grew up in Detroit, and as much as I love it there and the people in the area is great, people cannot drive. Oh my god.
Oh, they're so bad here. I thought California was bad, and then I came back to Florida, and it's a whole different kind of bad.
What made you guys come back to Florida?
Well, we were kind of forced out of our house in California. We were renting, and long story short, the old property manager passed on. They got a new investor who wanted to renovate and gave everybody a 60-day notice to vacate. So
What?
basically forcing us all to leave. So I reached out to family here who was in the real estate world, which I recently joined myself. They helped my wife and I actually get a new build construction home in Haines City. So we went from renting in California to actually owning a home here. And for about the same price as my rent, instead of a 1-bedroom 100-year-old wooden shack, I now have a 3-bed 2-bath garage, like an actual house. Yeah.
Wow.
But my family's all here, and her family's in predominantly North Carolina, and her siblings are over in Washington State, which is another area we were actually really excited to go to. Hopefully we'll be able to get a property over there as well.
But having property here too is going to be valuable too.
I knew it would be a good start, especially with having family that can kind of help us, get our foot in the door with finding an actual house. Kind of see which way. Oh, cool! It's actually taking us all the way over here. Very nice.
How does it scan for traffic during that right turn it made? Do you know?
So it's all just deep learning computer vision. It's all using cameras. So it's got a total of 8. It's got one in each of the B pillars, kind of looking out that way. It's got the ones under the mirrors that are looking kind of back behind us. And there's actually 3 on the other side of this housing that are doing full fisheye telephoto for distance and than a regular camera.
Well, that's
Which
cool.
they've simplified that a little bit on the newer cars. It's even taking its turn in here. But it's all basically just like us, just with more eyeballs. And I'll probably have to take over because it's parking lots are where it gets weird. But this is all because of its vision. It's just looking around and determining what things are based on how it's been trained with all the data Teslas have been collecting.
That's cool.
Even people. So is it right up here?
Yeah, that one.
All right.
Cosmic Compass.
Well, I'm gonna let this car pull out. Actually, I can jump right in here. So I still have to take over to do the parking side. It will park on its own, but I have to get involved in between, which is weird. There we are.
So much you have
Did we
to
have
take
anything
in.
in the trunk? Or no? Just my stuff.
Just yours.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's a pleasure chatting with you guys. Just hold the button there at the top. That's the release lever. Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
Maybe I should do that just right here.
Yep, you got it.
Thank you. This
My
is
pleasure,
so
guys.
cool. Yeah.
Have a great day.
Me too.
All right, there you go. That is the kind of conversation I like to have. And man, I'm seeing these Model Ys everywhere now. I really, really, really hope I can get my hands on the performance Model Y. That aside, though, that was a fun conversation. It was cool. We got to talk about a few things. I do need to do a little bit of a deep dive on Nikola Tesla. In fact, I can probably just have a conversation with Grok and get the lowdown on everything there, parse out the fact from the fiction, the conspiracy. But it was cool to have a conversation with folks that seemed genuinely curious and reasonably skeptical about self-driving in the cars, and a little bit misled, feels like a bit of a dramatic term, but a little bit misinformed on the origin of Tesla and Elon's role in it, kind of having the idea that he is just this guy that just took over and stole the ideas. Maybe not stole, they didn't say steal, but that he just inherited everything and didn't do any work himself, which most of us know is patently false if you've actually followed Elon's journey through, PayPal, Zip2, SpaceX, Tesla, and everything. It can be surprising to still hear that narrative, but it's not too crazy to understand why. I mean, this is still a very polarized world. People are still generally not a fan of Elon after the election and all, and there were plenty of people that didn't like him before that as well, because, you know, rich man bad, all the things we've heard a million times. So it feels good to be able to have a good conversation and, you know, distill some information that will help broaden or at least make them curious, because the young man in front went and checked on what I said about when Tesla started and Elon took over. And I love that. I love that. I like that I can at least spark the desire to like look some things up and maybe do some digging, because that'll help in a big way. So let me know what you guys thought of that video. I look forward to hopefully grabbing some more. They were awesome. If they get a chance to watch this back, I really enjoyed having you guys in the car, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your time out here. I got the impression that they were visiting. We didn't really get to have that part of the conversation. But I'm going to go on and get on to the next ride, guys. I will catch you on the next one. Take care.